Welcome to Lesson 10 in the ASP.NET MVC UI add-on course. Now, if you survived Lesson 9 and all the complexities and difficulties we went through with necessarily need the you don't need the VS hosts file or any of those. So these three right here. And the PDB files you wouldn't need for actually running the application, but you would need for debugging it and attaching the debugger to it later. So you'd want to keep those separate. But everything else, you just copy and then run this tracker UI.exe. So put that wherever you want. It's not the same with MVC. So if I went to MVC, open folder, and I went to bin, and there's a whole bunch of stuff here, but you notice I don't have any HTML files, I don't have any CS HTML files or anything else. So how do we deploy an MVC application? Well, that's actually built right in. So I right click on the project MVC UI. Now, since this is our user interface, this is what we deploy. We don't deploy separately our class library, our tracker library. And the reason why is because the MVC UI has a dependency on that library. Therefore, it's going to pull it in at deployment. So we don't have to worry about that. So we right click on the MVC UI, not the solution, the project, and we say publish. And we have a number of options here. 3 are displayed, but if you scroll over, there's more. And really, all of these are shortcuts to this one right here, folder. The rest of them because I have that font size pushed up. So file system, not local IIS. File system, there's the location, and I hit OK. Now I hit publish. It's going to build the application, and then it will push it to that folder. So there's a lot of stuff going on here, but we've now completed. We have 1 success, 0 fail in the publishing, 2 success in the build, and 0 fail. So now let's go ahead and open this file location. All right, so let's pull this over, and here is our published MVC application. So all you need to do is take this and put it in your web server, and it will clients are looking for is that index.html or even ASP. But in a case of an MVC, the start page is actually buried in here. And also, that start page still compiles content, because every time we call for a page, it's going to first compile the the C#, and then build the HTML page and then pass it down. So all that work needs to be done on a machine that knows .NET, which means IIS. Now, we didn't cover it in this course, but you could convert over to a .NET Core, and a .NET Core MVC application can be deployed to an Apache server. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit limited in what it can do at this point, just because they're still working on that cross-compatibility. We definitely could not have accessed the file system the same way when we do our text file save. And so there's some differences, but the reality is that you can make an MVC application run on a Linux machine. Now, this deployment here, if you put it on an IIS box, you still have a little bit of work to do. You have to go into the web.config, let's pull this up, and you have to make sure that this connection string is correct. Also, we have file paths to our files for our text-based database storage system. Now, text isn't as great on an MVC site. You really should have a SQL server, but it does work. So you could do if you wanted to. In that case, you need to make sure that your file path is correct. Also, make sure that things like your network and all the rest of the settings here for emailing clients is correct. Otherwise, you got a problem where it will crash on the email send. So these are settings you need to change, but fortunately, and then say, okay, how can I take this to the next level? And that would be JavaScript. All right, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day, and as always, I am Tim Corey.